welcome everyone. We are back for another fantastic session with the Knight Thorns. When we last left off, they just had themselves a fantastic fight against a hag. That's reflected, as you can see, in the players. Tolmar's gotten himself a proper fighty haircut, and I assume more of us will do as time goes by. So, on that note, we're going to go straight into the recap of last session, starting with Estrella.
Yeah, so we started last session right after we had killed the ogre boss and the first hag. Estrella asked the group to please keep it a secret that the ogre called her a captain and that she used this strange sword. Um, some people just shrugged it off, some promised to not say anything, and we freed the prisoners. There seemed to be one that Estrella knew because she tried to hide from him. But we quickly went on because we knew there were some other hags around. One in the upper floor where Estrella, with Preacher's help, managed to peek in, and she saw a room full of ice and a prisoner being bled out over a cauldron. So he was very pale, probably not holding on much longer. So we decided to kill the hag upstairs first. Aside from Zara, we all went up. Zara watched the trapdoor down to the lower floor in case hags from down there came up. It was a really hard battle upstairs, and sadly, we also lost someone, although we won. So, yeah, we lost our dear leader. So let's go on with Finn.
Yep. We started off in the castle. We freed the villagers. Over 30 people. There was an interesting, strange, dark-haired, olive-skinned man there, who Estrella's already mentioned. And he seemed very interested in Marisol as well. Estrella climbed the tower. We saw someone bleeding to death and decided to go up and rescue him. And uh, yeah, we gave it the old good fight, the best that we had. But unfortunately, Leo passed on. One of the saved people, Magus, collected himself and joined the fight against the hags. We won, quiet in the basement, and now they're left looking for loot. Arrowinner.
Yeah, so we saved all those people, and among them there were a few probably adventurers that looked like they were capable of taking care of themselves. Among them, a really handsome dude. Anyway, we went upstairs. We fought a lot of icy things. I executed a few of those wannabe hags. And we unfortunately lost Leo and Sherrick. And right now, we are considering burning this place to the ground. Iodi.
Yeah, it was a spicy fight. The hag that blasted all three of us and nearly killed all three of us succeeded in killing one of us. Yodi did the 360 no scope with the fireball through the doorway. That was a good time. And then I slumped down by the window over there because Iodi was like, "If one more person goes down, I'm jumping out this window. See you guys back at the Abbey." It was a heckin' cool fight. We had a lot of fun, and I think now we're just kind of like recovering. Personally, I don't even think Iodi knows what happened downstairs at all because he was upstairs dying and whatnot. Zara jumping through the smoke cloud to like battle the hag was an image in my head that I just thought was peak aesthetics. I put the cloud in the door. The hag was like, "What's going on?" Then here comes Zara, just a bloody mess coming through. It was a cool moment. I really loved it. I'll pass it to Zara.
Yeah, it's a good thing that Zara chilled down at the bottom floor because an Annis hag, which is one of the biggest, scariest hags, came out of the basement, as well as some of her friends. Zara and Roran managed to keep them from flanking us, and then got to jump through the flames and start smiting things. Zara doesn't look like she's doing too hot though. Hags aren't really her forte. Um, Aside from that, it was a messy fight. There was a lot of damage going out. The ice golems that just ignored magic, a lot of the magic stuff that was going on, to just bonk people in the head, very scary. Um, yeah, I will pass it on to Fist Extraordinaire Preacher.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I was first up through the upper hatchway. Had to make a difficult choice of stop and disable traps. I have no skill on that. Basically, I'd have to smash it, so I dodged through in order not to create a block in the way up, so to speak, and found two ice golems and two wannabe hags apprentices. And they basically started out flanking positions. And as people got through the doorway, we got alternatively burned with AoE or frost breathed on AoE. So it was kind of a two-way cross there. And then the frost hag jumped in from the north upside from the big hole with a big old ray gun and just zapped all of us. And that combined, I think, 4 plus that one, the fifth one took down Leopold. And yeah, it looked grim. It looked very grim there. Mary's almost down. I cracked a stabilizing, basically a plaque, a small plaque. Broke it open. And I thought that would stabilize her. Instead, it's really resuscitated her full health, which was good because she could then start sniping away. And Iodi's ash cloud really helped blocking view. So we finished up in the hallway and then dived through, following Zara, and took down the winter hag, frost hag, inside that big hole, big room there, after the massive fireball from Iodi. So yeah, we're standing around basically breathing out and trying to decide what to do. And some of us have said our goodbyes to Leopold. And yeah, shell shocked is the word for it, I think. Mador.
Well, you guys both covered everything. I can't think of much more to add. Yeah, we all got cone of cold or cone of frost, whatever hit us. Took us to allow us down to almost dead. Right now, he's just leaning on his glaive, just relaxing. I can't think of anything else. I'll pass on to Adamir.
Yep, I can't think of anything else. So, Shago.
Okay, there we are. So we are just going to go back into it. You're standing, getting a breather after that fight, having had yourselves a proper shit kicking. Honestly, it's been rough, but at least the hags are dead. Ebert, the half elf monk you came to save, seems very very injured, but he's breathing at the very least. Although he's had himself a he's had himself a beating for sure. And that is where we're going to be. That's where we're going to be going into it.
Should we inspect the basement?
We should, especially when we want to burn this place down. I don't want to burn innocents down there.
We are not burning this place down.
I
Can't
thought we would
you-
consider it.
Nope.
Can't you replant the tree or something?
Have you ever tried the... Do you see how big that tree is?
Frankly, I don't really care.
The roots go like 3 times the height of that.
Well, fine. Whatever. Preacher, do you manage to carry Leo downstairs? We're not leaving him here.
Give me a moment. Preacher stretches a lot after that fight because he's been frosted over several times. So gingerly walking over and sticking out to best transport poor frozen Leo, carrying downstairs.
Yeah, he's difficult to hold on to and actually carry down, being completely frozen stiff and pretty well not made for ergonomic handling. Is the easiest way of saying it. So I'm gonna need a DC 5 athletics from Preacher to get him down those stairs. Oh, so close. Yeah, no, Preacher does manage to carry him down into the ballroom.
And I want to inspect the tree, see if it's still haggified.
The tree is still the markings the hags have cut into it are still there, yes, but well, unless there's a hag with a carving knife hidden around somewhere, there's not going to be any more of them cut in anytime soon. You should be able to take off the bark and that sort of thing. I'm going to need a lore or a nature roll from you. Actually, that's going to be a DC 20 to erase the marks from that from the hags without injuring that tree anymore. Oh wow!
Nice.
Yeah, as you fix the tree, you feel sort of a calm Zen feeling dropping over you, and the tree, a couple of the branches from the tree actually kind of dip down and envelop um, Mr. Edemir. And as the tree pulls its boughs back from Edemir, the leather armor he was wearing seems to have been transformed into some sort of bark armor that he's now wearing.
I'm going to thank the tree and Druidic.
Yeah, the tree seems both very pleased and very thankful for the blessing that that Edemir has bestowed upon it by removing those hag marks from the bough and shaking some of its pollen loose. And people in the courtyard and inside of the building on the ground floor, anybody within reach of that bark is healed for 30 as the pollen kind of sets down onto people and soothes wounds and pains.
Never seen a tree do that.
It's a sacred tree.
With
Yeah.
abilities like this, sure is.
The monk
Impressive.
coughs as the pollen sets down on him and then sits up, looks around. Ah, I can't believe it. I thought for sure I was going to be bled out by the hags. Who are you? And he looks Estrella straight into the eyes.
Name's Estrella. Happy to see you back to conscious.
Ah, Estrella, that is in ancient Gnomish, it means beautiful day, and truly, you make it that way.
Oh, thank you. You're not a bad look yourself.
He kind of blushes as he gets up and stretches. Oh, this place! You must have had quite the fight. Did any of the copper elks survive?
Her face falls a bit.
Hmm.
It was a fight, yes. And she looks over to Preacher and to the frozen Leo.
Oh my. He stops and says a prayer for Leopold. Walks over to assist Preacher with moving him.
As he approaches, I look at him and ask, "Are you Ebert?"
Yes, I am Abet.
The quartermaster sends her regards and tasked us to find you.
So it's thanks to her that I'm alive and these people will avoid being sacrificed.
In part, the abbot is our main taskmaster, but we got the additional information that you were here from the quartermaster.
Well, I couldn't simply stand by and let whatever was happening here transpire. Had I known that there was such a great amount of hags, I would have made certain we had at least a squadron of knights backing us up going in.
Speaking of, you joined forces with a band of adventurers?
I did.
How many were there in that band?
There were 7 of them. We thought there were only going to be orcs here, but
can you make sure that all are accounted for so we don't leave anyone behind? We are about to go down in the cellar.
of course. Leave it to me. I don't know what's in the air, but I feel better than I've done in several days. I'm fairly confident I can help help the people up here. He goes over and clasps hands with the other 3 adventurers you rescued. Don't worry, we'll keep the farmers and townsfolk safe while you check out the cellar.
Great. Come on, let's go check out the cellar. The sooner we can get out of here, the better.
Agreed.
All right.
Well, there were traps upstairs, so be careful when you go down.
Right. Who is heading down?
I am, but I'm gonna suggest Estrella goes first to look for traps.
Yeah, well, sure, I can do that.
I'll follow.
Same.
Just give me a moment of time, because I'm going down careful. Maybe, well, I mean, we killed 2 hags coming up. We don't know if there's anything else down there.
Give us a perception roll, please.
Of course. If Fantasy Grounds would actually let me roll. There we go. And since I said I will be careful going down, also a stealth.
Well, you are sneaking down. You can't really see or hear anything yet, but looking at the doors, you're fairly confident that they are not trapped.
I'm bringing up the rear, Shabby.
Well, appears to be safe, she says carefully, while she approaches the door on her left.
I'm following with my pistol drawn.
Okay, so who is in the cellar right now?
I
I'm
am.
limping after.
So we have Preacher, we have Marisol, and we have Yodi.
I'll be down there too with Roran.
Gotcha. Edemir und Roran. Okay. Give us that that beautiful stealth roll again as you open the door.
Of course.
Okay then. See, why can I not open the door for you? That's weird. That should be openable, but it's not. However, you see sleeping on the floor in the other end. This lovely beastie.
She is turning to the others. There is a hydra, she whispers. It's sleeping right now, yes.
What's a Hydra?
A lot of snake with a lot of heads.
Aww. Is it cute?
It's deadly.
How deadly we talking about?
Let's say be careful when you cut off one head because it's going to be even more dangerous.
Send in the fox to go pet many heads.
I don't know. It doesn't look like it has any snoots to boot.
Do you see any more prisoners?
Not from here, I think. I would have to sneak in. So, psst. She motions to the others to be really quiet while she slowly opens the door a little bit further to sneak in.
Okay. In that case, yeah, she can see both of those cages are full of prisoners, but
Yeah. She motions to the others the direction of the cages, holding up her wrists like they are tied.
Hmm.
And is going to sneak towards the fountain first.
okay, give us a stealth roll.
Sure thing.
Oh yeah. Estrella sneaks very stealthily over to the fountain, and the Hydra is still snoring down by those bookcases. Give us a perception roll.
Hmm.
Oh, nope. You're pretty certain nothing else interesting is going on here.
Are the prisoners reacting to me?
Yeah, but they're trying to be real quiet-like.
Good. At least they're not so stupid.
Hey, do I know anything about a Hydra, Shaga?
Yes, you do. You know that you need to hit them with acid or fire once you've cut off a head, or they're gonna regrow two heads instead. You know they're pretty freaking dangerous. They bite very hard. They are difficult to injure, and they regenerate like a mother. And they regenerate as long as they have heads. In addition to the fact that one of their favorite tactics is just going in and then overwhelming enemies one by one by just biting 5 times per turn with their heads at the same person until they're dead and then moving on.
Neat.
This one seems to be a regular type Hydra. There are frost hydras, fire hydras, acid hydras, all sorts of things from when dragons have gotten a bit frisky with a Hydra, but this one just seems to be a bog standard one.
Yodi's gonna lean in close to the fox and whisper in his ear. If you do not kill it with fire, it will not die.
Good to know.
All right. Estrella would continue to sneak to the first cage.
Okay, give us a stealth roll, ma'am. So far, she seems to be dodging that Hydra.
All right. I want to open the cage.
Oh, I apologize.
I am ready to shoot at the Hydra's body with my fire rifle if it wakes up.
Okay. Yeah, the first lock, Estrella manages to pick easily enough.
She motions to the people to sneak towards the exit, while she moves on to the second cage.
Yeah, they're moving as slowly as they can, going roughly one movement per action per turn. That's oh dear.
Yep. The sneak is okay, but the lock opening not.
And as Estrella,
That's gonna be loud.
Uh-huh.
as Estrella starts opening that lock, the pick breaks and goes bing, and you can kind of see like a part of the pick that's broken off, flipping in the air overhead backwards towards the well, where it lands in the tin bucket with what can only be described as a god-awful racket.
And Estrella is like, her eyes are following this broken pin, and her eyes are growing because she knows exactly what's going to happen now.
Yep.
And yeah, she's drawing her weapon.
She can hear the Hydra going, and yes, we are over on to initiatives, and the first one's going to be Preacher.
Well, I ready to shoot at the moment it woke up.
So you'll get a shot. You'll get the initial shot then, because I'm just kind and nice like that.
So that's a critical.
That is a critical indeed. Holy carp. Okay.
Plus
That's a lot of damage.
6 fire and 6 persistent fire.
All right. So as the Hydra is getting up, as Marisol just puts a shot straight into its torso, boom, and it takes a whole heck of a lot of damage and is also on fire. That takes us to Preacher.
Very well. First move.
Okay.
And can't quite reach it with the second move, so I'm gonna position myself in the way of it. And basically ready as stance, and that's it.
Yeah, so you move and then go into a stance.
Yep.
Right, Zara, you're on the second floor, and you just heard a gunshot from the basement.
Okay, well, Zara's pretty quick on her feet. I got a 35-foot move speed and 3 actions, so I'm gonna start
Right.
running towards the downstairs.
Well, Zara's going to come huffing in here, almost knocking into Yodi, and still have 1 action left. Nyum. And yeah, she sees a Hydra.
That'll be my turn.
Gotcha. Then it's this thing. It is hungry, angry, and mostly hungry. Let's see. It is gonna move up here so that it has reach to. Let me just check something real quick here. These things are not geniuses. I'm gonna make a perception check for it to see if it actually notices that Preacher is an enemy. Nope. So it moves past the annoying statue and up to where it can attack Estrella.
What the flip?
Nimble dodge.
And that it is going to bite her. Nimble dodge takes that from a critical to a regular hit, so that was clever. But she is bitten for 16 points of damage.
Ouch.
And you can also actually no. It's not regenerating because it's on frigging fire, the entire thing, not just part of it. So roll a d6, by the way, Arwina, because that's persistent fire damage on its turn.
That's 6. It gets
Oh, yeah.
whatever I rolled for
Damn.
the persistent fire.
Yeah, it is really on fire. It is properly immolated, actually. That takes us to Marisol.
Yeah, I'm gonna reload and shoot again. $23.
Let me check the armor class of this thing. 23, that is a hit. Man,
For 16.
Marisol is on fire today. That's a hit.
And I'll reload.
Very well. That takes us to Edemir.
Okay. Move there and yep. And actually I'll command Roran so he moves again to there.
To there. Okay.
And that'll be my turn.
Very well. That would be Cherek. No, wait, he's dead. Estrella.
Yes. I still have prisoners in that cage behind me, so I want to divert its attention in the other direction. And I try to tumble through.
Okay. That is going to be a DC 27 acrobatics.
Not impossible, but really hard to do.
Nope. It is going to try to bite her again. Nom nom nom. Just too many heads, and this time it actually is a critical. And Estrella is chomped on for 26 piercing damage.
Ouch. All right. In that case, she just continues to run towards Preacher.
Okay. And guess what has more than one attack of opportunity?
Well, nothing I can do against that. I have to move away.
Well, you don't have to, but you chose to. And she gets bitten again for another 15 piercing damage.
Well, it was a choice being bitten by multiple heads and just being bitten one more. 15, you said, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah.
Estrella takes some serious bites, but it does seem to be distracted from the refugees who are in this area right now.
That was the
Scared
plan.
shitless, but it is following Estrella. That takes us
Okay.
to...
No, I still have one
Yep.
action left, I think, and I am... Do I have... I have to quickly check something. Nah, just going to continue to run. Sorry. Drawing back.
There we are. Okay, on to Mador, who is on the second floor.
I'll head down. Which speed's only 25, so.
Okay, so Mador's heading down. He's going to come down then. He's on the second floor, so even though he's not as fast, he's going to come down with one action remaining.
Embrace.
There we are. Okay. That takes us to Eodi.
Yeah, okay. I will shuffle to there.
Moment. Okay.
And then I'm gonna go ahead and just chuck a ray of frost at one of the heads, TM.
Go for it. That's it, sir. That is how much? 12 damage. This thing is actually very, very injured currently. It has taken a beating and a half, and we are now on Preacher's turn.
Okay. Not the statue anymore. So run up to it.
Not a statue anymore. Actually, slightly annoyed.
Indeed. I'm gonna try and use my latest and greatest skill. I'm gonna try and grapple it first.
First, it's going to get its attack of opportunity because, well,
Yep.
This thing, and it misses.
Interesting. That's a DC fortitude check, by the way.
That's against its fortitude. Let me
Yep.
check here. Nope, it stays on its legs. This thing is big, very big, and strong.
Okay. Then I'll just hit it once.
It is a huge beastie, after all.
That was a regular attack.
That's a hit, sir. Preacher comes in, smacks it in one of the heads, which goes bonk, 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 bonk. Manages to give it a quintuple brain hemorrhage, and the Hydra falls over dead.
Well, that wasn't that hard.
I stand looking at my fist going, what just happened?
Not that hard. And Estrella is trying to somehow hold her wounds closed.
Well, somebody had to be bait.
Next time you can play that role.
Mador, please give me a perception check. There we are. Mador notices down on one of the on top of one of the bookshelves near where the Hydra was sleeping. There's actually one of the heavy precision Raven Guard crossbows lying on top of that bookshelf.
Marisol, didn't you have some keys? My tools broke. I can't open the cage.
Those are from manacles, but I'll try.
Crunch.
In worst
Right.
case, we'll crunch it.
It says crunch, and then the lock has been firmly torn off of the wicker door of the cage. And yes, there is suddenly much panic and screaming as people are running away. Yes, Mador.
Was that one of the ones that we were looking for?
Well, it's the only thing from with Ravengard provenance you've seen in this castle so far. This thing obviously is meant for a full Ravengard knight. It looks older than the ones you've seen carried around, but then again, with the craftsmanship on these things, they're probably heirlooms passed from generation to generation.
I definitely will take that and strap it to me.
Yeah, you also see a quiver of 20 bolts meant for being carried on the strap to the thigh, it looks like.
Very well. I'll
The
grab that
crossbow
too.
itself is massive enough that it doesn't really have any holster or anything like that. This thing is sort of like if Marisol's rifle and a heavy crossbow had kids. This is what you'd get.
You carry it like this, Medor. And I show it my own heavy crossbow.
Yeah,
Which is smaller, but still.
the Ravengard crossbow is. I said heavy crossbow. I meant if a siege crossbow and Marisol's rifle had a kid, that's what this thing would be.
Yeah, but I can still show how you would carry it with my heavy.
Where the bolt is probably about a third as long and as massive as a third again as long and as massive as that of a heavy crossbow.
I'm gonna herd the people up.
As I know, I don't know how to use a crossbow, so I'm I can even play with it.
Oh yeah, you're a fighter. You've got
You
training in
can
crossbows.
shoot it, no worries. I'll even help you get used to it if you want. I'm pretty adept with these things. I'm gonna take a look around and see if there's anything catching my eye around in this area.
And our men look down the well.
I'm guiding the people out.
Yeah.
Coming back down again.
I'm going to try and do some first aid on Estrella.
Go for it.
Medicine.
Yeah, the stuff you find down here looks like in the 4 different rooms. They're definitely hag bedrooms, and pretty nasty at that. You do find a scroll. You don't want to think too much about what this scroll is made of. Definitely not what you usually make scrolls out of. But it is written in Jotun, so you're going to need somebody who reads the language of the hags to, or giants to actually tell you what it says. The well, it seems like the hags have started corrupting the well as well, but this thing being, you don't know how far down it's grabbing the water from, but obviously it's a deep enough well that the hags haven't really managed to foul it yet. There is a touch of the primal to the water in the well, and it's obvious that the hags did not, without getting any help from more hags, would not have had the power to actually destroy it or corrupt it.
Thank you, Mador. This helps.
It's basic, but it should at least stop most of the bleed.
Zara's gonna go over to the Hydra and I want to make a check to see if there's anything like valuable that can be gutted out of the Hydra.
Oh yeah, sure.
What kind of check you want?
Nature or your thaumaturge one.
So I was gonna do the same thing. Can I just give him an assist on that?
You can do the same thing, but with Arcana, because that's going to yield different stuff you can pick out from it.
Okay.
So on the more, shall we say, immediately useful note, the skin of the Hydra would probably make for a very fine leather or studded leather armor. Pretty certain you can get something crafted that's going to be nice if you get it enchanted from that. And the bile sac of the Hydra is very good for making any sort of alchemical substances that are acidic. And the Hydra liver is a delicacy among Golden Glen's nobility, so you could probably sell that for a handful of gold. At least enough to cover the party's expenses for about a week at a nice inn. When it comes to Iodi, it's more interesting things like Hydra dandruff and eyeballs and tongues and that sort of thing, which will make for either good spell components or the more advanced alchemical stuff that Iodi's cooking up. Some of this is good for enchantments and yeah, basically the next two thingamajiggers you want to make that are below level 6 in item level, you can half the price on.
Okay, so Iori goes from trying to burn down the building to happily carving up a Hydra corpse and distracted completely.
You need some help, my friend.
Help? No. Iori will find all of the good bits.
Is the meat edible?
Have fun.
Hydra meat, if fermented for at least 6 months, so that all of the poison is pulled out of the Hydra meat by the fermentation process, is actually a delicacy that can sell for, well, hundreds of gold.
That's a long time.
Did we pass some kind of kitchen or something that when we got down, there seems to be implements there? Was that just torture stuff?
No, that was actually kitchen stuff.
Right, I head over there to find various containers and such and bring them back to Yodi, but not saying anything, and then leaving him alone.
A lot of snakes are poisonous. Estrella walks over to Iodi and the corpse. Is there a way to extract poison for me to use here?
There will likely be many piles of poison for you to play with. Yodi has many things to take from this body, though.
Oh, I'm only interested in the poison.
Yodi, he is more specialized in explosions than poisons.
Are there any dwarfs amongst the survivors?
Yes, there are dwarves among the survivors. Indeed. Several of them, in fact. Dang
There
it.
must be a cat somewhere in the basement.
Yes, the purr. There is definitely a cat somewhere. Son of a...
I'm gonna look for the cat, since if so.
I'm going to approach the dwarves.
Trying to add dice in Fantasy Grounds is a lesson in fucking futility. There we are. Lord Almighty. Whew. My apologies. Oy vey. Managed to get it done at least. At last. There we are. The Raven Guard crossbow has been added to the door.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I see the damage is different. Okay.
Yeah, there's a handful of dwarves sitting around there and going like haggis in brew. Like
One of them speaks common.
one of the smithing elves. What can we do for you, my friend?
Well, I'm not a smith, but I'm looking for anybody from the clan Strong Axe.
Oi, strong axe, you say? I can't say I've seen any of them around here. I'm Doirach the dwarf, of Clan's Bronze Bottom.
My name is Medor from who knows where.
Greetings, Mador from who knows where. And thank you for saving us. Strong axe, I wouldn't know. But I know that the Ags here were communicating with Ags somewhere else. They might have him, or her. They did say something about the dwarf's blood being extra important for the ending of the ritual. Good thing y'all came before we got to that point.
Okay, that's interesting. No idea whether they mention that those other hags are from, right?
All I know is that they, well, I overheard they were talking about this being the first of many rituals to unlock some sort of powerful blessing from their patron, Hecate. And he spits when he says the name.
Interesting. Well, thanks for the information, and we'll have to see where we can get you guys to safety.
Well, closest that I know of would be Wallen. It's a small city on the lake. From the stars should be about 3 days from here.
We could always get you back to the Black Abbey too, and then you can go from there.
Well, wherever you are planning on taking people, they better be able to feed these. How many are we up to? And he looks over to Ebert. Ebert's like, 76? These 76 motes? Tell you what, though, if you escort us to Wallen, I'll make certain that the company pays you for a safe return of its workers and associates.
How many days from here would you say that is?
If
3 days from here.
I've read the stars right, about 3 days, so 1 gold per head per day, that should be 228 gold for you. It's a small fortune.
What direction from here?
I'll have to go west. Down from the mountains, and we'll reach the farmland in about 2 days and Wallen in about 3. I've traveled these parts a lot, I'll tell you, back when Lord Montfort and his family were alive. Never had this sort of issue. But we took up with a dwarf. He called himself Keren. I don't think that was his real name, though. Said he was from the company. Told us to join him for checking out a new vein close to Mont4 lands. Before we know it, he's delivered us here. Him and his band of miscreants. I should have recognized him from the wanted posters, but was too late. Nah, I'm pretty certain he's the one the company is paying for. That's been stealing ore, selling it off to orcs and all sorts of other miscreants.
So, west, is that where the direction we have to head to?
Is it? Marisol knows these things. I don't.
I need to know what you want to do before I can answer if that's the way you want to go.
We'll probably want to go back.
We have one person to deliver to the Black Abbey as well as getting the rewards.
But we have a lot of people with us that we cannot feed all the way to the Black Abbey.
Correct.
So if the other town is closer, we should bring them there first, so we have less people to protect and feed.
What was the distance between here and the Black Abbey? I don't think it was 3 days.
Didn't we travel like a week or so to get here?
You traveled for Black Abbey's about 3 days in the other direction.
Okay, but if these people are gonna pay us to deliver all these refugees there, then I'm all for it.
And we already sent some refugees to the Black Abbey. I don't know how many more they can accommodate.
But if these people both will pay us and feed them, then win-win.
Yes.
How long would it be with Show the Way?
Show the way with this amount of people. Probably even with Show the Way, it would be roughly the same amount of time, just less risk. There's so many of them that unless you had multiple people doing Show the Way and kind of split them into smaller groups that can move faster, you wouldn't really get much benefit from it. You could avoid probably a lot of hardships and make the journey a lot safer. Show the Way should help you find the best route for the 80-something people you want to bring there, including yourselves, but you wouldn't necessarily get there any faster.
Well, there's an armory upstairs. Let's see what Marisol, when we equip the people who can help defend and fight with what weapons and stuff they have up there.
Absolutely. And we should also get the cart and make sure that we can load it the best way possible. Unless there's someone who has a really good reason we shouldn't bring these people to the other village before we go back to the abbey, then I say we do so.
I think
No
Iori wants to say
complaints
something.
from me, leader.
I can feed 18 people per day off of my spells.
Yeah, and we have 80.
I mean,
It
it's
helps a
knocking the
little.
number down.
Yeah.
Mr. Yodi, did you have something you wanted to add?
So everybody's fuffing about, like talking about what we do next and everything like that. As soon as he sees that Preacher's not directly involved in the conversation, he just wants to go over there and tug on his robe a little bit.
Yes, Master Yodi?
Yodi would like to have a word with you in private one moment there, Preacher.
Certainly.
I consider you a man of very high intellect, sir, and I would like to discuss a matter with you.
Thank you for the kind words. Available.
The bear. Yodi would like to dispose of the bear's corpse in an honorable way. I do not wish to speak to the druid, because the druid would have us tie flowers in its hair and dance in circles for days. But Yodi would either burn this creature to send it on its way or bury it into the ground. What do you propose?
Do we know anything about Leopold's customs?
I barely knew Leopold at all.
Mm, we could ask Marisol. I think Marisol and Leopold were closest. Whether there is any customs of his people. I suggest burning is probably the most common one, especially in these places where the undead seems to be proliferating.
Yodi is incapable of lifting the bear onto a proper pyre. So part of my issue is I require your strength, sir.
That can be done.
Then I will go about building the pyre, and we can dispose of this while everyone decides what glories we seek next.
Indeed.
And that's what I'll do.
I also want to be carving up the Hydra and getting its meat.
Okay, so that's what you guys are doing. How about the rest of you?
Once Zara is done dealing with the Hydra corpse, she is going to see if there's anything useful to be delved from the hag's belongings, since that is a skill set she has, being able to read Jotun and whatnot.
Uh-huh. Give me just a sec. I have this note here somewhere. I thought I had this note here somewhere. Shit. Give me a moment and I'll send you the gist of it, while the rest of you just RP among yourselves.
Well, I vanish after a moment upstairs and fashion some kind of drag of cloth to get Sherrick's body down and out as gently as possible. That's my items. If anybody sees me doing it and wondering, feel free.
I am standing, conferring with the strongest people amongst the refugees and how we can travel. And just doing that, preparing for travel because I don't want to stay here.
Estrella is actually going back to the corpse of Vielfraß and is once again searching him to see if he had any correspondence with other people that she may know.
I'm sorry, I was just writing someone. Could you please repeat that?
Yeah, Estrella is searching for something on Vielfraß or other correspondence that points her to other people she may know.
Yeah, Vielfraß. There is there are notes on Vielfraß, but either whoever wrote it can't write, Estrella can't read the language, or they're just so covered in blood and other bodily fluids that it's difficult to get a good feel for it. But there is one note there that's partly readable, where at least some of the people that have survived after the fight seem to be working in on the docks in Caque de Chevalier, the capital of Goldenlands. And Vilfras is asking, and the name is not readable, to contact the guild to see if they can have them delivered to him, because he wants to make a special kind of sausage out of them.
All right. A language she doesn't know, so it's neither Orcish nor Jotun.
The one part she can read is in Jotun,
Okay.
but yeah, some of this probably written by somebody who thinks they know Jotun, but it's completely illegible.
Yeah, she pockets through the notes anyway.
All right. Meanwhile, I believe Mador and somebody else was delivering out weapons and armor to whoever in the of the refugees seems to be able to handle it.
Correct.
So you now have 40 peasant militia armed with a mixture of spears, axes. Two of them have picked up scythes, and a handful have short bows as well, or crossbows, taken from the armory. Maybe 1 in 10, 1 in 5 has some sort of armor, but mostly just padded or leather armor, as anything more valuable has been looted from that armory long ago.
It's some protection, so it's the best we can do with under the circumstances.
I'm gonna see if anybody can help me cut up this Hydra.
Well, I believe Iodi and Zara have been at it already.
Yeah, but I want the meat.
Ah. Harvesting the meat from the Hydra. Well, give us a nature roll. It's definitely sort of a butchering, although most people who are skilled butchers would disagree. But Edmir manages to get probably 40 pounds of somewhat high-grade steaks out of that Hydra.
Very nice.
Just a short 6 months of fermenting, and those will be delicious.
Short 6 months of fermenting, or one day for me to get my spell slots back and purified food and drink to remove toxins.
Good. One or the other. But it's not going to be proper hydrocarl if it's not, or high carl as they call it, unless it's properly fermented.
Yeah, but at a last ditch effort, it's enough to feed people.
True enough. So
I can't help but notice. The Black Abbey said we were going to find things for resurrection here. We found a lot except for that.
Maybe the hags moved it. Or used it or anything.
I have forgotten to write that up on the loot list, but yes, you found the various and sundry herbs and the oils and incense and that sort of thing needed for resurrection, in addition to the bare minimum of diamonds needed to do it once.
And upon further calculation, I can feed 24 people a day. If I'm still casting Show the Way, and that's without purifying the steaks. But that's gonna leave me spent on spells.
Yeah, that's gonna be up to you guys what you're planning on doing with that.
While everybody's working on different things, I'm gonna find a quiet corner outside the wall and sit down and read the letters I found on Leo.
Mm-hmm. Well, in that case, if Leo has that written down, please feel free to send it over to Mistress Arwina.
Could get real clever though and have Leo read it, and then it'd be like Marisol's reading it, but hearing it in Leo's voice,
That is true.
like some Hollywood shit.
We could also do that. That sounds like a clever way of doing it. Let's do it like that. We will, however, need Mr. Leopold to do it for us, or we will simply end up not knowing anything.
Leopold has been summoned back from wherever temporarily and is ready.
Right, in that case, give us a good old reading, sir.
Arwana, you first.
Well, this looks like a letter to me. This is his last will. I should read this for everyone when they're here. So I'll start with the letter to myself.
My dear Marisol, we have not known each other long, and there is much that we have not had time to speak of. I know that you are a fine person, intelligent, resourceful, determined to help others that face adversity or are suffering from the aggression of evil. You ride well, and you have a strong will and a generous heart. We work, sorry, we work most excellently together and complement each other's skills. You are also, I have noted, a very attractive woman. I have spoken to you about my heroes, those legendary figures that gave me inspiration, and you are aware of my sincere regard for the heroes of Bourgogne, particularly Annie Langstead. If it is a, if it is at all possible, please do me one final favor. When you return to Greenhill, please tell him of my life and give him my bow to keep for me. I regret that I could not live up to his example, and I hope he finds a place of honor to keep it. I wish there had been time to speak more of your home and your hopes and wishes for the future. I would very much like to have listened and to find out still more about each other. Alas, growing up mostly in an all boys school was not a great place to cast off shyness or inhibitions about young women, and my parents were very proper about such things. So if I seem sometimes distant or had little to say, I assure you it was because being around you both gave me much joy in your company and made me struggle to find the verse. Over time, I have found myself feeling like a better man around you, happier in myself, stronger, and more confident. This was not something I sought or set out to find, but I cherish it nonetheless. I regret that I currently lack the boldness to say the things I wish, to speak honestly to you about my feelings. We may develop a closer friendship, or well, maybe you will just be amused at my presumption. I hoped someday to overcome this shyness, but if you are reading this, then we will never know what might be. But rest assured, I would not have behaved differently towards you if my attentions were unwanted. I found much pleasure in our friendship alone. I hope that you will remember me fondly. Please take my silver amulet as a keepsake. It will keep you sober when you need to drink alcohol, although this is not always an advantage. I hope that you will wear it anyway, with my fondness and admiration. May you go on to help many, to find glory in large deeds, and to make your own legend. With warmest regards and affection, your friend and companion, Leopold.
Well, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take his silver token and put it in my pocket for now. And then I'm gonna try to gather the other people so we can read his last will.
Yep, that'll be up to the rest when they feel they're properly gathered.
As long as we're gathering by Cherek's Pyre, I'm in, but Eodi's getting real serious about this whole bit.
Well, you're out doing that, I believe, while Marisol's doing her thing with reading that thing. So if you want to play out that scene, please feel free to do so, sir.
Oh, well, I'm still building the pyre and all that, so I assume that once everybody... He's going to wait for everybody to gather up before he does any of the final seance or anything like that.
Okay, in that case, I believe y'all are probably gathering up then.
I have here the last testament from Leo. He wanted this to be read to all of you. So here goes. And she starts reading, and I feel like we should do the same with this one.
The same with what one? Sorry, you lost me there.
Marisol is starting to read the testament, but I feel like we should have Leo read all of it.
Okay. Being the last testament of Leopold Victor von Kriegstaffen, Markgraf of Grünkirching province of the nation of Friedrichstadt, forfeited. I hereby avow that I am of sound mind and legal age to make this testament, and that this document expresses my wishes without undue influence or duress. I appoint Marisol Barlow to be the executor of my wishes. Should she predecease me or be unable to function in this capacity, then I appoint Zara Alpendew as the successor executor. I direct my executor to pay any debts, fees, or expenses arising from my demise. The following message is to be read to the mercenary group known as the Knight Thorns. My comrades and friends, if you are hearing this, then I am no longer with you. I hope I gave my life meaningfully and that I have not performed too badly as your leader. I realize that I had much to learn about this, and I apologize for my shortcomings in this regard. It is my fervent wish that no one else died as a result of my choices or mistakes, as poor Cal did. And I also hope that you will succeed in returning her to life. I cannot hope for the same for myself. This is too much to ask. I would urge you all to follow Marisol until such time as you can choose someone to lead our little band, chosen calmly with careful consideration. And that you stay together. A large group may do much more good than a smaller one. Of course, you may ignore me. This is out of my influence now. But I hope you will all take note. I enjoyed our time together, seeking fortune and righting wrongs, standing up for what is good and right. As my dear friend Zara might say, I have drunk too deeply of the hero juice. But she will know by now that this was always something that spoke loudly to me. May you all find whatever it is that you seek and live long, adventurous, and fulfilled lives. Good hunting, and my warmest regards. Leopold. It is my final wish that my belongings be disposed of as follows: my money to be split into 10 equal portions, 2 portions to be added to the group funds, and the remainder to be dispersed 1 portion per person, with the exception of Master Eodi, who is to receive 2. May your hoard grow large, my friend. My weapons, with the exception of my compound bow, are to be available to Zara, Mador, Marisol, and lastly Estrella. Any that are unwanted are to be stripped of any runes and sold, with the proceed added to the group purse. The runes from my compound bow are also to be reused when needed. Preacher is to have the choice of any of my equipment that he wishes, after which my other friends may take their pick again. Anything that remains is to be sold and as funds to enrichen the group as a whole. I charge Edamir to look after my beloved friend and companion Cherek. He has been a loyal and enthusiastic young protector. Help him to reach his maturity as a lord of the plains and forests, and see him settled in a place he can grow strong and live peacefully. If he should not survive my demise, then I charge you to not allow him to rot away on his own, though this may not please the Lady Guilty. Send him off in a blaze of glory instead, and remember him as the brave, affectionate companion he was. I have but one further request. There is a letter included in this fill addressed for Marisol. It is for her and her alone to receive it. Should she suffer the same fate as I, please deposit it unopened with her body's final resting place. Signed this day by his own hand, Leopold Victor von Kriegstaufen.
I nod approvingly to EOD, with who's finishing the pyre.
So Iodi's got the pyre built out of stones and sticks to prop the bear up with room next to it. And then he's got a 20-yard circle of rocks around it where he's like gesturing for people to stay on the other side of it. Approximately 20.
I'm gonna stand a bit further away, just in case.
Well, normally would be weaving flower crowns and dancing for a fortnight, but since it wants to go out with the blaze of glory, Yodi,
I have but one question about this before I continue with what I have chosen to do. Do we place Leopold upon the pyre with his friend and send them out together? Or will we be attempting to carry and bring our friend back from the grave?
It didn't sound like he expects us to bring him back like we're planning with your friend Cal.
No, but if we can, we should. He didn't want to ask us for it, so I say we bring him and at least see what we can do, and lay him in state if not, and then have him a proper burial.
I would like to point out that we sieged this castle in such a foolhardy manner to get the supplies to resurrect Cal. Our fortunes in finding another batch of ingredients probably is not going to be in our favor.
It is a dangerous path that we have chosen to tread. Yodi does not think that we may bring all of us who fall back. Yodi would not expect any of you to do the same for him. But I will bow to the choices of the new leader. But
No, let's take a moment and put him under fire as well.
then Yodi will begin to prepare what he will say before this sending off, as Yodi will take the head of this.
He has appointed you as to execute his wishes, as well as the next leader of this group. So I will do as you say. And she helps to prepare another fire for Leo.
I made room on the pyre with the bear. And so Yodi's standing on top of the largest rock that he could move close and inside the circle. And his back is as straight as he can be, up to Preacher's belly button, essentially. And he's got a very dark look on his face, and Yodi looks down and he looks around and he says, "It is, as I said, a very dangerous path for us. We have chosen the might of the hero, the life of adventure, danger, murder, all of the things that we do every day that none of us seem to even comprehend. But Iodi, as a dragon, knows of these things. Iodi knows that we cannot all be a true soul of a dragon. And so, Iodi would like to honor these two fallen heroes, those of us before who gave their life. Iodi," and he kind of swallows something down a little bit. "We cannot all be prepared for what faces us. We will not all survive this journey, and I hope that we can use this to temper us all." And he looks at Preacher, who's holding his hand up. Oh, he's blocking his face, I think. And then he kind of spreads his winglets out a little bit, and you see him reach his hands down towards the ground. And fire begins to gather by his feet, and rises up his body and catches onto his winglets. And then he casts Blazing Dive, and jumps 15 feet into the air, and lands amongst the pyre, and explodes the entire 20 feet into a ball of flame, where he just stands impervious to the flames, and watches the entire thing burn. Kaboom!
I whisper my final farewells, and tears are falling down my cheek, so I just pulled my hat down so it doesn't really show.
Rest now, my warrior. Rest now, your hardships are over. Estrella starts to sing.
And that's where we take our 10-minute break to get water and bio, and everybody take a minute.
That sounds like a good idea. Let's do that.
Good with that.
diddling ding dong day. Ooh, do up diddling ding dong day. Ooh, do up diddling ding dong day.
Here we go.
There we are, and we are back. Barely an eye is dry after the singing and the beautiful ritual for Cherrick and Leopold. And but the refugees are also obviously, after having stood still for a while, starting to get cold, hungry, and still pretty scared. So it's up to you which direction y'all are planning to take them.
Question first.
Yes, sir.
There were caravans captured. Is there any of their rations still around so we can eke out the supplies of it?
Doesn't look like it. Most of that's been gorged on by the ogres.
Dang it.
But you should be able to at least get one or maybe two of the caravan wagons working, depending on how good of a carpenter y'all are.
Hmm.
Well, we should get everything we can and see if we can get some of these working as well. Does anybody have an experience doing that?
Carpentry, no. Engineering, yes. So I suppose I could fit an axle to a wheel, but I don't know much about the rest of the stuff.
I turn to the refugees. Are any of you carpenters? Can any of you fix the wagons?
Oh, I'm sorry, lass, but I think the ogres ate the carpenters. Durach says.
Well,
Afraid of that.
as I have a plethora of experience creating staffs and things of that nature, can I make a crafting check and see if I can fix it?
You and Preacher, if you both succeed on a DC 15 roll with your crafting and his engineering, you might be able to jury rig something.
Oh, no.
Nope. Once you've done it, it turns out that Preacher completely forgot about the Fibonacci coefficient for the axle and didn't take that into account, and it breaks the moment you try to roll off.
Well, we'll have to take turns then on riding in our cart, and we'll have to switch up the horses.
You do get one of the wagons working, but the other one is now broken beyond repair.
Okay. Well, the smallest and the most hurt go on the wagons, and the rest of us will walk. Anybody can ride?
Well, most of us can ride, Mom. We're just not necessarily very good at it.
It's gonna go slow anyway. So those who cannot ride in the wagon but are and cannot walk, then get on the horseback. I'll walk beside it.
Question: Are we planning on heading out now, or are we gonna stay in town for the night?
What's the hour?
Mm, you did attack fairly early on, so it's about 1400.
Then I say we go now and make an early bed somewhere away from here. I'd rather not stay.
Well, there is the village.
The village is almost as bad as this.
At least it has proper houses and beds for people to at least get a little bit of rest outside the place where their friends were killed.
Well, there were plenty people killed in the village as well.
But not eaten there.
Are any of the people in dire need of care, or will they survive out in the wilds?
Well, we do have the wagons, and those who are very tired can take some rest there before we switch up.
Yeah, Preacher quickly and efficiently checks the medical status of most of the people here and sorts out who needs to walk, who needs to ride, who needs to be in a wagon. which does not always coincide with what kind of shape people think they are in themselves. But with his excellent work in triaging the situation, you should be able to get a half a day of travel in whatever direction you're planning on going.
I won't be able to feed anybody or cast Show the Way.
No, but we'll just have to get away from here and find a nice place to spend the night, and then we can look for food. We
That's your
do
call
have
to make.
some rations. Don't we have a few weeks worth?
Yes.
That should at least keep us till tomorrow.
Keep everybody?
Well, I also have 1 rations for a week left, so I could contribute that to the poll.
And we only need to keep ourselves alive for 3 days to get to the village where the dwarves come from, where all of us will be fed. And I'm sure most people will prefer to be on the road hungry rather than stay somewhere hungry. And there's also the week's rations from Leo and my own, and whatever we have in the bag of holding. I think we're gonna make it. Don't you agree?
In that case, we shouldn't linger any longer.
I take
I-
I take the leading horse by the reins and start walking.
I'll walk beside you.
I think we got 3 weeks of rations from the Dark Abbey, so we burned 1 going here.
Yeah. And which way are you guys headed?
Towards the village of the dwarves, where they said we could shelter the refugees and get food and money for them.
Ah, yes, towards Ballon. Very well. So yeah, you get yourself half a day of travel. Who is leading the pack?
Hopefully, we get one of the dwarves to lead the way so that we can follow their directions, and then Marisol and Mador, at least, is bringing up the front.
If we need snow clearance, I'll take one of our export shovels and do a little bit of digging.
Estrella is in the middle somewhere, assisting people wherever it's needed.
And I assume Sarah is at least piloting one of the carts.
Okay, so give us a nature check from whoever's leading.
Survival?
Yes, please. Okay, so Marisol and Mador kind of breaking the way. It's work getting this amount of people down that road, clearing out anything that could foul the wheels of the carts, and clearing out snowbanks every now and again. Especially as you haven't actually brought shovels.
Yeah, we did.
You
We
did
have
bring
2.
shovels. Well, in that case, yeah, Mador and Marisol are shoveling away snowbanks.
No, Mador and Preacher are shoveling.
Mador and Preacher are shoveling away snowbanks. Snorbanks? Snowbanks, yes. Art imitating life. But at the so the day creeps towards end and the sun is going down, you can see what's obviously a campsite with logs set up and a pretty big cairn of stones set up to light a fire in. And to your joy, there's even about 2 feet of pre-chopped wood there, ready to use. It's going to be cramped and tight, but you will be able to at least get some warmth here, and with some clever use of your tarps and and tents and that sort of thing, you should be able to rig up something that'll at least let people stay warm enough to not die from hypothermia during the night.
Well, this is good. Let's put up a shift, a watch shift for now, and get a proper night's rest.
I
I'll
can
take
take
the
You'll
one.
night.
need it.
I'll take the night shift like I usually do.
I can also take one.
You said
I'll
there
take
was
one.
already wood piled up and everything?
Yep.
Whose campsite is this?
It's a wayside.
It's as fairly common in this. This used to be a big trade road, before Housemont 4 fell to demons. And used to be if you had wood to spare, you'd leave some behind for the next poor buggers that came past. And if you needed wood, you'd take some. I'm guessing this must have been a pretty large caravan if you look around. Every tree and a couple of 100 yards has been cut down and stacked up here, it looks like.
So it's perfectly fine. We need it now. Then later, when we have to spare, we can leave some at another campsite.
Well, I guess it's time to cook the stews to eke out the food. Who's the best cook?
A young,
Can anybody cook?
young female dwarf comes up, and I can try cooking.
Perfect. Thank you. What do you need? This is what we have. I'm pretty sure that it'll last longer if we make a stew out of the dried meats and stuff rather than just, chew on the meat.
Well, let me get into these traveler's biscuits and the stew and see what we can make happen.
Let me know if you need any help. I may not be good at cooking, but I'm good at following directions.
Yeah, she's getting that done while Durak the dwarf is setting up watches with the peasant militia right now. You're noticing that they're allocating more food to the 7 of you and not putting any of you on any watches.
Well, Marisol's just gonna eat and fall asleep as soon as she's gotten anything in her. And just assume that they'll wake her up if there's anything needed. Or rather, she makes sure that they know to wake her up if anything is needed, and then she'll fall asleep.
Mm-hmm. How about the rest of you?
Preacher
gonna-
does his healing kata stances and then rests for 2 hours and then is awake the rest of the night.
I'm gonna ask Zara if she knows anything about Hydras. And more specifically is if I extract the toxin from the meat, if it would make a good poison, or should I just purify it?
Probably best to simply purify it from what Zara knows. Yeah. If you need something really potent but very slow acting, like you stab an enemy with it and they die, like 3 to 5 business days later, then the toxins from the Hydra's meat might be what you're looking for.
Yeah, better off purifying it since the poison's more like very serious food poisoning than anything professional.
Gotcha.
Never underestimate a slow acting poison. It has its uses.
Yeah, for assassination.
The hammer does just fine.
way too crude.
Yodi's gonna flip through his dusty spellbook, studying and just generally catching up before he goes to sleep, as he doesn't normally stand watch.
Okay. How about Mador?
I'm gonna grab a bite from what I have left, and I'm gonna doze off till mid-watch, which is midnight.
Yeah. So yeah, everybody else is currently asleep, except for Preacher. When Durach comes over to Preacher, like, so tonight you should sleep. The rest of us will keep our eyes open. A lot of you're what's gonna be saving our artists if any nastiness comes creeping out. We need you rested.
Yeah, I don't know if you know much about my kind, but we don't rest much.
You're kind. You're human, ain't you?
Yeah, no. I am an automaton. My soul is human, but the rest of me is other materials.
He looks. So you're some kind of elf.
No, I think the term is construct.
Oh, a clockwork man.
Something like it, but not with the clockwork. It's a magic kind of thing.
Well, that's way out of my wheelhouse then. But you should still sleep, even though you're made of some sort of, I don't know. Is it elf mischief?
No, ancient human mischief, sorcerers kind of thing.
He's looking around at Preacher like, I'm pretty certain you're dwarven made. This is way too fine craftwork to be human or elf.
To be honest, I don't know exactly who made me. I wasn't awake at the time. I inhabited this body later, as is my understanding, even though I don't remember the exact moment.
Well, I mean, looking at the lines here, like functional, but no added weight for no reason, like the humans would do, and not made all flimsy like the elves are wont to. This has got to be dwarven craftsmanship, although it wasn't made in my granddaddy's time, I'll say that.
At some point in our conversation, I switched to Dwarven and speaking it fluently without even understanding it, or rather acknowledging it. Because I do speak the language, but I have no knowledge of how I learned it.
Well, you do sound like me granddad, or maybe me granddad's granddad. That's a syntax that hasn't been in use for a while.
Well, again, I have a lot of skills that I sometimes remember without actually knowing it. I've been asleep for millennia.
Well, that's quite the nap. I'm glad you were awake to save our bacon today.
Well, I guess that's part of why I don't need much sleep.
Well, let's hope we don't have to wake the rest of your friends there, because there's somebody coming up towards us. He points down the path towards a very robust figure with carrying a torch and kind of gleaming in the torchlight, almost glittering. Some sort of very, very highly polished armor.
Let's go challenge. I walk over and pull out Hello in the Night.
Oh, there the camp.
Who be you?
I'd be a wandering champion. It'd be you.
Survivors. Welcome into the light.
I am coming.
And I kind of split off a little bit from the dwarf in order to not make one single target.
Dinna fast, man. I'm no hostile. Assuming you've no evil intent in you.
Quite the opposite. We saved a whole lot of people here and they are quietly sleeping, so lower your voice a little bit and we can converse.
Oh, I'm sorry, lad. It's just making sure you could hear me.
Absolutely.
Oh, so you rescued all these people? That's
Yep.
good work.
There was a couple of hags, some ogres, orcs. So, traveling champion, eh? In which deity?
Yeah, I'm a paladin of Zosia and Cressa. Yeah, traveling towards yon Black Abbey. Some spiritual lessons, you know.
Hmm. Well, you're welcome to join us for the evening, and we can talk a little bit more in the breakfast time.
Ah, that'd be grand. I would offer to share my rations, but I've only got about a week.
I think
But,
we'll be okay. We're heading in a different direction, actually, quite the opposite from the abbey. We need to take these people to safety, and the closest is the village. 2.5 days in that direction.
I just come from that direction. I'd be glad to go with you. Again, can you leave helpless people?
Safe roads?
Safe-ish.
You have killed some orcs during the day on your ride.
A few orcs. Nothing overly troublesome.
I think our leader would like to speak with you in the morning, but you're welcome to bed down if you can keep your armor quiet. I look at the gleaming stuff. Is it plate he's wearing?
It's plate and it's silver.
Oh my gosh.
I can't promise that, but the armor, it's kind of loud. But I can take it off. I just need 20 minutes.
Well,
It'll go faster with a hand to release the straps. You can.
Certainly, we can help with that.
Oh,
I look at the dwarf.
we'll get right on. We've got a couple of lads who have been squires. Doesn't take long before a couple of humans and one halfling come up and help him take off his armor.
Help my Bob. I recognise that accent. Are you from Santerre as well?
Ah, I'm from Sanitera, the outskirts, yes?
I grew up there. Oh, it's great to hear the accent again. Oh, I knew a few dwarfs. I never learned the language, though. I'm sorry.
He seems almost reddening with embarrassment from the praise, and ends up kind of scooting off and putting on some black bean brew and some tea, wisely staying away from the espresso kit.
Yeah, that's probably wise.
That's grand. I didn't catch his name. I hope I didn't embarrass him.
Yeah, well, time for more talking later. I'm Preacher, by the way.
My name is Magnus. As I said, I'm from Santerre.
I could guess.
Aye, I guess you did. Don't worry. I've got my under tunic on, so I'll pile the armor up and be as quiet as I can.
Yeah, no worries. I think most of the people here are tired enough to sleep through anything. But yeah,
Aye.
just to be careful.
Well, I have some medical training, so if any of you are injured, we'll see about it in the morning. Is that right?
That would be good. Feel free to. I'll look around basically for a good spot for a horse or a campsite for the person in question.
It's
Over there.
yen. It's yen. You not be biting anybody.
He'll mostly be sitting. Most people here are sitting and drowsing. Currently, only they've made space for the 7 of you to lie down, but otherwise they're huddled up mostly to to stay warm. Looking around, you see there's a space over by Mador because he's sat up and is sitting with his glaive in one hand, and you can hear him kind of mumble, "Yeah, I'll be on watch in a moment." And then his head falls down, and there's a light snoring from him.
Yeah. Now I kind of wish you had kept your armor on if you're going to be sitting next to him and his reaction when he finds somebody next to him. Yeah, well, never mind.
Aye, well, I mean, he seems a bit tired there. Is it half elven?
Yeah,
Looks like a drow to me.
good eye, good eye.
I will live with a few in the mountains, you know. They come out every once in a while.
Best seat yourself, and you can meet the rest of the people. I have a little bit of watch to do, so have a kip and talk in the morning.
Aye, it's really nice of you, preacher. Thank you very much.
DM,
Yes.
50% watch on the newcomer, 50% on the rest of the camp.
Gotcha. Give us a perception roll, sir.
Yeah, I'll keep this during the night, so to speak.
Whew, that was close.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something out in the darkness that you can sometimes spot gleaming like dinner plate sized eyes from at maybe 300 meters or further away, but never seems to approach closer than that. You are noticing that it's whatever that is big, far
Okay.
larger than any horse or bear you've ever met.
Okay. I inform the guards that there is possibly something out there that we need to keep an eye out if it gets closer.
Let's see, and yeah. Otherwise, then the night passes easily, and the first one to wake up, I just rolled a d6, is Marisol.
Marisol quietly and carefully climbs out of the sleeping bag she's been sharing with Estrella for warmth, and walks over to the main fire to see if there is black bean brew or espresso brewing, and if there's not, she'll start brewing it.
There is some black bean brew, some pine needle tea that one of the farmers or the peasants has scrounged up, and you can actually see some sort of roots being grilled on. Some sort of roots are being grilled on the coals. There's some eggs being boiled, various and sundry eggs. It seems. You'd be pretty certain most of them are from birds. A couple of rabbits. A couple of rabbits are being grilled on the fire, and at least 5 or 6 rats.
Well, I'm gonna take an egg and a cup of black bean brew and nod to whoever's on guard.
Yeah, that's Preacher, and Mador is now also sitting awake, having woken up at some point during the night. He did have the intention of getting on watch. He was just a bit slower than midnight. So the two of them are up.
Marisol,
Good morning.
2 things. One, newcomer, Magnus, Paladin, over there.
Hello.
Second, there is something out there in the distance. I've been around the camp a little bit. Big eyes, hasn't approached. I need somebody with a little bit of tracking skill to go out and have a look at, see if there's any tracks left on it.
Will you come with me?
Absolutely.
Can I finish my coffee?
Absolutely.
Yeah, Mador.
Did Preacher tell me about this thing going around the camp?
Yes, I did, just now.
I mean, since I was up on watch with you.
Yeah, I informed all of the people on watch.
To dark vision, can I see anything? What shape or anything?
Actually, you are. Let me see if you have any skills that would help with that, because Mador would also be from a. First of all, give us a perception check to see if you can spot it. Only what you can see is there's something out there that actually you're not entirely certain what the deal with that is, but it's defeating your dark vision, so to speak. You can't pick it out clearly, like from the background and the ground. It seems like its body's kind of adapting to whatever the temperature is around it, making it very difficult to get a proper look at it with dark vision. It's a serpentine in nature. That much you're pretty certain of.
I'll tell him it's definitely serpentine in nature, but that's about it.
Hmm.
And it does kind of blends in with its background. I'm having a hard time picking it up.
We'll see what Marisol can find out from the tracks.
Yeah, it's taking about a good 300 meters away, so you'd have to go at least that far from camp. That'd be 900 feet or 450 fridges for our American friends.
Well, either we wait for the others to wake up and go check it out, or you and I will just take a look and see if we can find something out and not
It's
engage.
not been hostile yet.
I'll go as backup just in case you need an extra fighter up there.
Perfect. Come on, let's do it.
Okay.
Yeah, as you start heading out of the camp, Dura comes up to you and like, "Oh, you're not planning on taking on the death serpents, are you?"
The what now?
That serpents.
Yes, those things, the many feet, big heads full of teeth, will breathe lightning at you.
Well, then I don't think we're gonna follow it. As long as it's not bothering us, we're not gonna do anything to it. Agreed?
I'll be honest, I'm surprised it hasn't attacked with the smell of blood and sweat from this camp, but I'm just glad it hasn't, because that thing would. Well, I don't think all of us would make it down from this mountain if that thing attacks.
Then I suggest we just keep an eye on it and we'll hopefully don't have to engage it. And if we do, we'll have to take it away from the camp and with the full party.
Wake the druid.
I think he's hunting for mice. I saw something scamper over there.
Now, that turns out to actually just be an Arctic fox. But Edamir does wake up very shortly afterwards. When people are going like, "Edamir! Hey, Edamir!" And then you hear from behind you in the camp like, "What?" And the fox just runs away.
Sorry, Mr. Fox.
What do you know, if anything, about something called the death serpent in mountainous regions?
Mountainous regions aren't really my forte. Do I roll nature?
Yes, sir. It could be a couple of different things. You're not entirely certain. Especially the thing with defeating dark vision, so to speak, makes you think it might be a remora or a behir. Both of them do that. Both of them are somewhat serpent shaped, and both of them live in this sort of terrain. but you're not entirely certain which of them it would be. You know, both of them are really frigging dangerous, though, being, you could say, some sort of evolutionary blind end, a dead end on the dragon genome.
Yeah, relay that and tell them that we really shouldn't mess with it.
Okay, we'll have to keep a watch on it and see if it follows us. It did not attack us tonight when we were very vulnerable, so I'm hoping that we might not have to tackle it at all. But if we do, I'd rather be warned and have a chance to protect the civilians.
With the amount of people we have, it might just be sizing us up or waiting for something to soften us up.
JM, I start staring out into the distance, see if I can spot it, and using my arcane eye to help me see invisibility, see if it can break the camouflage.
Give us a perception, sir.
There we go.
You can't see it. You can't see it, but you realize why you can't see it, because about 300 meters out, there's a disturbed patch of snow where something has burrowed down.
Yeah, it's probably gone to ground out there in the snow.
The direction we're going or the direction we come from?
GM?
To the to the left of your campsite from where you're standing right now, about 350 meters.
Okay.
Okay,
Uh,
keep an eye on it and let me know if something happens.
I nod and I just stare at the spot standing still.
It's
Right.
kind of creepy when you do that.
Red
Meanwhile-
eyes glowing and everything.
Meanwhile, Estrella wakes up, looks over the campfire at the most handsome red-headed, red-bearded human she's ever seen, who's sitting dozing on a log next to the campfire.
Estrella's crawling out of the sleeping bag, moving over to Marisol. Hey,
No, Marisol's sleeping bag is empty.
we shared one.
Yeah, well, Marisol's not there.
Yeah, well, I'm crawling out of the sleeping bag and looking around where she is, moving over to her.
She's standing maybe 50 meters away from the camp out in the snow, pointing at something and talking to Preacher.
Well, interested in what they are talking about, moving there. And when I reach them, hey, we have a new guy there, right?
Yeah, as
Dragoness.
Estrella starts moving, the red-headed man opens his eyes and looks at her and sees one of the most striking one-eyed red-headed ladies he's ever seen.
Good morning.
Morning. She's a little bit flustered. I'm pretty sure you weren't here yesterday.
No, I came in on the, during the night. Your man preacher was nice enough to say I could hitch up and take a load off.
Well, I trust his judgment on that one. So, what brings you here?
Oh, I'm on my way to the Black Abbey. Taking some lessons for my lady. And what exactly do you do, gorgeous? And what's with the eye?
Just an old wound. Don't mind it. Well, she's moving her hand around the campsite, like just accompanying these people to safety.
I saw here. Yeah, they all seem tired and hungry and desperately need to get home, you know?
Yeah, not the best situation we found them in.
Aye, well,
Her own clothes are also pretty tattered.
yeah, my lady would not forgive me if I allowed the pilgrims in trouble to pass by without my protection, you know?
So we're not exactly heading into the direction of the Black Abbey. Do you still want to accompany us?
As long as I can hunt up more scran, lassie. Aye, I don't see why not.
So who's that lady you keep talking about?
Wait, lady. Oh, that lady. Oh, that would be my lady, Caressa Zosia. Sometimes she shows out her face, you know. That's my goddess.
Your goddess. So you are.
An anointed champion. Aye, lass. It's a new thing, but apparently I've been called, you know.
Champion. That explains your traveling to the Black Abbey.
Aye, well, you know, I do what the high priest asked me to. Right now, I'm kind of hoping to join my. Well, I've not met them, so I can't call it comrades, but I'm hoping to join the other anointed ones fighting the forces of the Great Wave and knocking down the undead, you know?
Yeah, well, killing undead and those hurting innocents surely is a true course. Do you want some black bean brew? She moves over to the campfire where she can smell it.
Aye, I'd love that, lass. Hold on, and I'll get my cup from my pack. Do you have any espresso?
Uh,
I haven't had decent coffee since I left the Abbey, you know?
we did get some rations from the Black Abbey. I'm not too sure about what coffee we have. I'm usually more the tea type, but sometimes I do like a good cup.
Ah, you'll know of espresso if you see one. Looks a bit like treacle, you know? Very black, very strong.
Well, this looks like regular black bean brew, and she pours 2 cups.
Yeah, when a very young human girl, maybe 8, comes by and, oh, here you go, lord and lady. Please have some rabbit. Serves up a bit of rabbit and an egg for each of you.
Estrella is kneeling down in front of her. Well, thank you, little lady. How are you feeling today?
I'm hungry.
Well, in that case, I'm sure we can share this portion here.
Could we?
Yes, of course.
She gets up and, or doesn't get up, but she hugs Estrella from the hips down because she's no taller than that. And Zara and Iodi are also awoken by camp camp followers bringing them black bean brew as the sun is starting to come up.
Magnus kneels down and says to the little girl, "Thank you, my pretty. Why don't you have this egg, eh? I'm not so keen on eggs. Go on, have it."
And she grabs the egg and runs over to an even younger child.
Ugh, the poor child. S- Starving's no good.
Now they have seen things that no child, no adult either, should see.
Aye, I've seen a few of them myself. Pardon my curiosity, lassie. You're no from Zebus, are you?
From Zebus. Why do you ask?
Oh, no reason. Just there was someone I knew with one eye I didn't get a good look at him, but yeah, it wasn't in the best of circumstances, you know.
Well, I'm from here and there, so I don't remember you, I think. No.
Ah, then you're probably safe, lass. It's all right. Bygones are bygones. I'd just be curious, you know.
Well, what do you mean with not the best circumstances?
There
If
was a
I'm
big
not inquiring too much.
no, lassie. There was a big fight. Some people I cared for, they went down, you know, and this particular person, they got snatched away by a big burst of light. I'd be very interested to meet them again. Ah, didn't worry. Young lady as goddess as yourself. Yeah, I'm sure you're fine. It's got naught to do with you.
Well, if you won't mind, I have to check my equipment to get ready for traveling.
Aye. Should probably start thinking about putting my armor back on. Well, eh, wish you well of the day, Estrella. Nice to meet you.
Right, the former squires swarm up to help Magnus put on his armor again.
Thank you kindly, lads. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'll need that later. Not be so enthusiastic, yeah? Yeah, thank you.
Right. Zara and Iodi are now also awake.
Zara is pulled a turnip out of her backpack and is roasting it in the fire.
Yodi's sitting happily by the walking cauldron, just throwing bits of Hydra and stirring away.
Morning, Master Yodi, for your hoard, and I flip him a gold coin.
He catches it and he looks down and he says, "Ah yes, Yodi's hoard grows every day."
I know. As it should, Master Yodi.
One more day, and Yodi will have life potions for us once more.
They are needed. Thank you. Morning, Edamir. I think I saw a cousin of yours scampering over there.
Not a cousin, just a regular fox.
It would have
They're
been
friendly.
it would have been much more fun if it was a cousin.
Nah. We had some mice together. It's fine. Good person.
Right, Durach comes over to Marisol and points like, "Ah, you see that hill over there? Once we pass that, it'll be straight way down most of the day. But once we crest that hill, you'll be able to see the lake. And, Vallon, the township we're heading for, will you can even take a boat from there to crack the Chevalier if you should feel the need, or to a couple of the other townships around the lake. It's a big lake, takes about 3 days to sail over, but luckily the water's usually calm."
Beautiful. Let's start to break camp then. Make sure we tidy up and get going when the daylight is here. Has it been a calm night except for the death serpent or whatever?
Oh, that serpent's kept me awake for sure, but other than that, it's been calm. There's a lot of us, you know. No wolves or bears or probably not even orcs unless there's a small warband. Or well, God forbid, a large warband.
Yeah, let's try to avoid that.
But y'all are canny fighters for sure, but well, I don't know about the new one. And he looks over at Leopold, dressed in silver plate armor. Not Leopold, but Magnus dressed in silver plate armor. Like he looks the bit, but I'm sure certainly he'll be scaring off some of the bandits. But I haven't seen him fight, so I don't know what he'd be good for.
No, let's hope we don't have to until we get the refugees into safety. But I should probably go say hi.
Are we sure the Death Serpent didn't, come with him? Kind of
Uh,
weird he's out here all alone and, he
he,
didn't have any problem with him.
I'll talk to him and see what happens. But if you want to know more about the Death Serpent, Preacher is looking at it over there, and Preacher is standing like some sort
No.
of statue.
No,
of
the
him
Death
as well.
Serpent's the other way. Preacher's looking at a hole.
Well, then I would suggest you go tell Preacher he's looking the wrong way.
Unless the Death Serpent burrowed.
It
I don't know.
burrowed. At least that's what we think. But I would appreciate if you look for it for me. You know these things better than I do. And with that, I walk over to Magnus. Well met, traveler.
Well, mate. Oh, another charming young lady. Greetings and good morning to you.
Good morning.
Aye, I was on my way to the Black Abbey when I happened to run into your camp, and your man preacher was nice enough to allow me to hitch up for the night. You know.
Of course. The more the merrier.
Aye. I've
And you
not
look like you can handle a sword, so. My name is Marisol Barlow.
good to meet you, Marisol. Yeah, and I've seen a few fights in my time.
It looks like it.
I've noticed you gathered quite a band here, uh, mostly hungry and thirsty. Rescued them from somewhere, did you?
Yes, from ogres who were planning on eating them. Decided we did not want them to eat them, so we ended up having a disagreement that ended up with most of them dead.
Aye, I
All of them,
approve of that.
actually.
Aye, I approve of that. Well, I've no particular time to turn up at the Black Abbey, so well, I'd be happy to join your band, showing them back to wherever they're going to. I think I passed through the village a couple of days ago.
And that
If
would.
you'd like.
Sure. I see no reason to refuse someone who can actually hold a weapon and help us protect these people. Uh, as you can see, we can do what we must, but we are few.
You look very capable. I've no seen weapons like that before that you're carrying, lassie. But I'm sure you're very good with them.
These, I hold out my guns.
Some kind of crossbow.
Well, this is a crossbow. This is a gun. black powder weapons.
I'm from the mountains, lassie. I've no heard of black powder.
Where I'm from, there are a lot of crossroads, and we get new weapons all the time. So I was trained in these and found that they suited me quite well.
Aye, well, yeah, sounds like quite a handy skill to have. I'm not so good with the bow myself, but I do okay.
I couldn't shoot a bow worth anything, but I'm fairly accurate with these and a crossbow.
Aye, well, the strength is no problem, but accuracy, well, sometimes I hit the backside of a barn and sometimes I don't.
Well, sometimes you miss anyway. Uh, but I would be happy to have you follow us along, Mister.
Magnus. Magnus. Magnus Evilson.
Magnus Evilson. Well, welcome on board for now. We're trying to pull out as soon as possible to get most of the daylight, but we need to feed and wake up everyone first.
Aye, well, as I said to Preacher last night, I have maybe about a week's worth of rations. If I can hunt down some more when we get to wherever we're going, then I'd be glad to share them.
That would be greatly appreciated. We have around a week as well for all of us. And we're doing whatever we can to make sure they last longer because of all the refugees. But the dwarves have assured me that where we're going, there will be possible to get new ones, and they have more than enough food to keep it.
Aye, well, helping the sick and the lost and those in need of protection is kind of one of them champion duties. I take it very seriously. Um, I did mention to Preacher I have some skill in medicine. The priests at the temple where I got my calling, they are quite good at treating people. So if you have anyone injured, there may be something I can do for them.
Well, some of us are still a bit tired after our fight yesterday, and well, you see how the general population here is faring. So whatever you can do, we would be grateful.
Yeah, well, it might take a while. I'll try and pass among people. I can treat two at a time, but more than that defeats me at the moment.
Well, our most wounded are in the wagons. Maybe start there.
Aye, that's a good call. I was about to ask, but you beat me to it. Well, thank you, Marisol. It was really nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Let's hope for a peaceful journey.
The gods protect us.
May my lady look on us with the favour. I have to ask, Preacher, he keeps looking at that hole in the ground over there. Is there something I should know?
Uh, we saw something the locals call. He saw something the local would call a death serpent last night, and we believe it's burrowed over there. So we're keeping an eye on it in case it, you know, decides to show itself and make problems for us.
I
There's
might be
no-
able to make something and try to send it into the hole.
I don't think we should do anything that would bother it and make it come after us.
Yeah, but how do we know that it's still there? It could be burrowed right under us for all we know right now. If it can dig a
True.
hole, then could just come up trimmer style.
Well, then if there's anything you can do, then let's by all means. but please do not disturb it.
I
I'd
don't think
rather
a
let
little
it
bird
sleep.
would disturb it.
Chuggy, is the death serpent a mountain creature? Would Magnus know anything through mountain lore?
Give us a mountain lore roll. That is a very good mountain lore. Indeed, yeah, you're pretty certain what they're describing as a behir. Um, let's find a picture of it here that I can share with the group. A very unpleasant creature. It tends to be a solitary hunter, and well, bears, moose, ogres, hill giants, all of them are on the menu for this thing.
And relay that on to Marisol and Edemir. I didn't know what it's hunting, but I think we should definitely watch it very careful and not provoke it. You can.
I think we should avoid even a small bird and just make sure we keep a lookout and hope that it just stay burrowed. Are they night active, Mr. Avelson?
Does he know, Shaggy?
They are mostly night active, but they can be active in the day as well.
And I pass that on to Marisol.
Well, then we'll keep a lookout and hope that he's gone to bed. And get everyone to eat and ready to move as soon as possible, please.
Aye. The protection of the vulnerable's got to be our first consideration. No amusing ourselves with a whacking, you know. I'll start looking at those people in the wagon, see if I can help them.
And
Nope.
there are probably some in our group that could use some help as well, I think.
Right.
Should I check your warriors first and move on to the folk afterwards, or can you wait a bit?
Well, uh, please look at the warriors first. If something happened and we need to protect ourselves, it's better that they stay wounded and taken away in the carts and we be able to stand and fight.
Of course. Okay, I'll go and check with the others and just keep an eye out.
Okay, so Magnus is heading over to work on the injured you have in the wagons. What's the rest of the party doing? Don't you
Keeping
all
watch.
rush in at once?
I'm
I'm
just staying
keeping
beside.
watch.
I'm staying beside Preacher, just watching his backside while he stares intently at that hole.
Estrella is moving between the refugees and is looking especially after the children, making sure that they get at least something to eat.
Right. And yeah, Magnus seems to have started a clinic over in that. Because most of the people, after he's done with them, are able to walk and function on their own. Okay, so Estrella's moving around, feeding the children mostly, making certain they get something to eat. Hum. Give us a medicine check for Estrella as well.
Nah, Estrella refuses to get treated by him.
No, give it
So-
roll for Estrella, please, as she's
All right.
moving around with the children. Yeah, can't find any obvious injuries that need treating, but they are cold, scared, and definitely hungry. Right, that's Estrella. Zara, Iodi, what are the two of you doing?
Zara seems to be scribbling something onto a piece of paper that she has gotten from somewhere. She is making her scroll for scroll thaumaturgy.
Ooh. Very
Oh, well.
nice.
Well, Iodi has finished with his cauldron of many things. Well, he just learned a certain new set of powers and things, so he's just studying away with the book, waiting for someone to point in the correct direction. Also, got to recharge my bonded item and all that.
Right. So both of you are quite busy. Okay. If anybody has any scenes they want to play out before we end it, now's the time to tell me. And if not, we'll end it here and get back to it next Sunday. Because starting a fight with 14 minutes left on the clock, generally not a good idea unless we want to go an hour overtime again.
Whoa! What do you mean we're starting a fight?
Somebody was planning on flying something fiery over your into the burrow,
No,
if I remember correctly.
just a little bird homunculi. It's fine.
Right. Seems everybody's happy with ending the session here. So that is what we're gonna do. We've gone at least half an hour overtime the last two sessions, so I don't feel bad for ending it 10 minutes early today. So we're gonna let Mr. Tolmar find somebody to raid. We'll be back at 1800-ish CET on Sunday again. Until then, you all stay safe, stay healthy, and be well, and we will see you all next time.
Bye.
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 Bye-bye now. Route 66. Good choice.